Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name's Mariah and I make videos chatting about all things real estate related. I know that a lot of people nowadays are interested in the real estate industry, and so if that is you, definitely consider hitting the big red subscribe button, whether you're a realtor or not, if you have not already done so. Today's video, I'm doing a Q&A. I'm just gonna be going through and answering a handful of questions that you guys have sent to me recently. As usual, I have my phone right here. I just read the question and then I read my answer that I typed up on my phone to you guys. So if I'm looking at my phone a lot, that is why. I have my chai tea here. I actually added some organic dark chocolate chips on top and melted them on top of it, and it is so good. So grab your beverage of choice and we're just gonna jump right in. First question. I'm a new agent and I love your videos, but I have a question. Why would you tell them that 93% of buyers come from online when that's where they're going to post it? Just trying to learn. So just to explain to you guys where he's coming from with this question, he's referring to a video where I was calling a for sale by owner, and one of the things that I told them was statistically, 93% of home buyers come from online. And so he's basically saying, why would you tell that to a for sale by owner as a pitch when they're posting it online? So isn't that gonna hurt you? And my response was, that's a really good question. Most buyers do come from online. So that statistic is true, which is why it's so important to have a huge marketing plan online and not just have your home on only one or two websites like FSBOs do. So that's kind of what I was getting at with the FSBO, is telling them like, hey, I explained to them that we will have it on over 3,000 websites, and that's why I tell them that statistic, because if their home is only on Zillow and Craigslist and that's it, then more buyers are going to see it if it's exposed on more websites. So I really hope I explained that in a way that makes sense. I don't even know if it made sense to me how I explained it. I know what I mean. Hope you know what I mean too. Next question. How negotiable are the commission splits really in a business where everything is to be negotiated? As a new realtor starting out especially, thanks a million. And my response was, I'm not completely sure what you mean by that question, but if you start out your career by sticking to your commission and just train yourself and get so used to sticking to that commission and not discounting it, it becomes the norm, and it honestly makes a big difference in your paycheck when you list it at 6% versus if you're doing a discount at say 5 or 5.5. It does make a difference, and it's a lot. It does make a difference in your pay. You are worth the whole 6%, so always fight for it is what I said. And at our office where I'm at, Berkshire Hathaway, when I started out, they changed this, but when I first started there, we actually were not allowed to list anything under 6% commission. And I am so thankful, because at the time I was new. I didn't know any different. I thought 6% was normal. And so it really forced me to learn my scripts for, sticking to that commission, and not necessarily scripts, because I guess it wasn't really a script, but just to learn how to not be bendy with it and to really fight for it and to really show the seller like why we're worth that 6%. And now that the rule has changed, I'm just really glad that when I started out and didn't know any better, it was we were held to that higher standard, because otherwise I probably would have been doing a bunch of discounts, because you're a new agent and it's very competitive. Next question. Could you explain the difference between broker, realtor, and real estate agent? Some sources say they are the same and others say they are different. My answer is, it might be different from state to state, so don't take my word for this. This is just like my response to the best of my knowledge. So maybe like double check, do your own homework. But where I'm at least, as far as I know, back in the day, like long before I had my license, it used to be where a broker was what is now a principal broker. So they used to call principal brokers broker, I'm pretty sure. And then everyone else was just a real estate agent. But now where I'm at, any realtor, like I'm a broker. I'm just considered a broker, and then the principal broker over you is your principal broker. So as far as I know, where I'm at, any real estate agent is also a broker. I'm pretty sure there's no difference between a real estate agent and a broker. And if someone's watching this and knows better, feel free to please correct me. And like I said, I think it's different, might be different from state to state. A realtor, however, a realtor is someone who is a member of the National Association of Realtors and has been sworn in. Not all real estate agents are realtors. Actually, a lot of them are not. If you're a realtor, then you are held to a higher standard. You have a code of ethics that you must abide by, and you paid extra dues to be a realtor. You have access to extra trainings, that type of thing. I think as a seller or a buyer, it is a huge advantage to hire a realtor versus just any old real estate agent. Because you know they're going to be held to a higher standard with the code of ethics, and you know that they have the training and everything. Where was I? Because they're normally more professional, but unfortunately, the average person in the public that's not a realtor doesn't know the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent. A lot of real estate agents don't even know the difference. At my office, Berkshire Hathaway, they require their agents to all become realtors, which is another thing I like that holds us to a higher standard. And so when we hang our license there, we're required to get sworn into the National Association of Realtors and start paying dues to them. And I really like it because, like I said, it's just another way to hold us to a higher standard. And that's actually something that if you're a realtor, you can even use that as a selling point to your people that you're trying to get to work with you as, hey, I'm a realtor. I'm not just a real estate agent, but I actually have this like certification. So just something to think about. Next question was, what do you say during preview appointments? So I have a whole video on this talking about what questions I ask when I go on a preview appointment. So I'll hopefully, if I remember, link that in the description down below. I don't know what the video is called. I made it a long time ago. So I'll hopefully remember to link it. So you can check that out. Basically, that video is just where I talk about what questions I ask them, because that's something that you guys ask me a lot. As far as what I say when I get there is I really just try to make it about them. The first thing I say is, of course, I introduce myself, and then pretty much after that, one of the first things out of my mouth is, would you mind showing me around? And so I have them show me around the house and just observe and make sure to be fully present, be there in the moment, take mental note of things, and really appreciate, especially if the seller has done work to the home themselves. I make sure to really make a point to be genuine about it, of course, but appreciate and make comments about it. And for the most part, what I'm saying though, when I'm walking through that house is I'm asking them a lot of questions, just trying to get to know them, their motivation, why they're selling, where they're going, how long have they lived there, all of that good stuff. And just make it about them as much as possible, encourage them to talk, be a really good listener, actually genuinely listen to them, like listen to listen, not just listen to give a response. And a lot of times after they feel heard from you and after engaging them in conversation, they start to like you because people like people that are interested in them. A lot of times after that, it turns into talking about listing it. And sometimes it's not right there at the preview appointment. I never expect that. But a lot of times it's later on because they start to like you and people work with people they like. Next question. How do you feel comfortable going into houses alone while door knocking? Any tips? Do you just feel it out? My response was, I feel completely comfortable with it. I honestly, maybe I'm wrong, but in my humble opinion, I really don't think people are as scary as we think that they are. I know the average person in a nice neighborhood that I'm door knocking in isn't just waiting there for some random girl to knock on the door so they can do something bad. However, just in case, you know, a odd 1 in a million thing does happen, I'm always super aware of my surroundings and I trust my gut. So if I ever were to feel weird, a weird vibe coming off of a house, and like, you don't have to knock on it, you don't have to go there. Trust your gut and the vibes that you feel. And even though most people don't invite you in anyway when you're door knocking, that's not gonna happen, odds are. Use your best discernment, be aware of your surroundings, and you can even keep some pepper spray in your pocket if it makes you feel more comfortable. I have my phone in my hand ready to use, so you know, if something did happen, I can just 911 like really quick. But the odds of that happening are very low. And also, if I'm going on a listing appointment, then something I just recently started doing is I share my location with my husband so he knows where I'm at. So in case, you know, like I said, I'm definitely not a person who is paranoid. I never want to live in fear. I don't think that people in general are evil. Like if someone's a psychopath and they're gonna kill someone, they're probably like possessed, mentally ill, or they're on drugs, or all three. That's my opinion. Those are the kind of people that are killing people. Like the average person that is inviting you over to look at their house is not like planning on killing you. But in the odd case, because you know, there's like a 1 in a million thing, you might come across a psychopath. I share my location with my husband. I always try to remember to do that when I go places, even though I'm really not, like, I know if I didn't, I'd be totally fine. I'm not living in fear. I'm not paranoid about it. But, you know, it's just good to rather be safe than sorry, because you do hear those things that happen every random 1 in a million things. But I feel like that's more when you're showing rural property or meeting a buyer at a rural property for the first time. That's more what I'd be worried about, like a buyer you've never met before, or like doing an open house in a rural property. I don't know. Now I'm kind of just rambling. Those are just my thoughts. Don't be scared. Just be aware of your surroundings. Go for it. Share your location with someone. You're gonna be good. Next question. Mariah, I'm struggling for what to include in my market updates. What would you suggest? This would be tailored to for sale by owners and expired listings. So what I do when I send my market updates is I just have my office take the statistics from the previous month from our local multiple listing services and then brand it with Spencer and I's photo and information, contact information on it. That's actually something that our office, because I talk about my office a lot, but they're really awesome. It's something that they actually do without us asking. They do it for all the agents. They send out market updates every month for us, and then we are able to have it customized if we choose to. If your office does not do that, I'm pretty sure there are services online. Don't know what they would be called, but I've heard that you could pay like $30 a month to have some service online do that for you. Or you could always do it yourself. But as far as what to put in it, average days on market, people are interested in knowing. I mean, I always want to know how long homes are sitting for. Something that I always put, that is always on the market update that I would suggest putting on there is the average sale price. So say I'm doing a November market update, because it's November right now at the time of filming this. Who knows when it's actually going to go up, because sometimes I procrastinate, but it's November right now. So say it's a November market update, I will say like the average sale price in each county or area or each side of town in November of this year versus November of last year, so they can see how much homes have how much they have appreciated. Averages on market, average sale price this year versus last year, average home sales this month, or how many homes sold this month, just to get you started. Mariah, when do you suggest is the best time to call FSBOs? Morning or evening? Please advise. Also, I noted you carry thank you cards with you. So, do you stop at the post office right after the calls are done? Yes, I normally send out mail that day. If not, I get to the post office the next day if it's just not gonna happen, or if it's out of the way or don't feel like doing it, I always send it within the next day or so. Also, I'm still trying to figure out the best time myself. Seems like oftentimes when I make calls, nobody answers. As you know, when you watch my videos, a lot of times I do end up leaving voicemails. And a lot of, I don't know that there is a best time, because I think that a lot of for sale by owners, just from what I found at least, they don't answer the phone no matter what. You're gonna end up leaving a lot of voicemails because they don't wanna talk to agents, and they are getting so many calls, and so they just kind of stop answering and filter through with voicemails. However, I did hear from a Tom Ferry video I was listening to the other morning that the best time to cold call, according to him, is either in the morning, I can't remember what time he said, or from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. So maybe I'll give it a try, you give it a try, let me know how it goes. Next question. I would love to see your listing presentation. I'm an agent as well. Love your videos and I'm taking it all in. I know FSBOs can be intimidating, but if you follow up, they do convert. That is so true. It is all in the follow up. Don't give up. Okay, so my response was, I have a video called, the name of the video is, I don't have a listing presentation, 3 things that I tell sellers, or something like that. And basically what I talk about in that video is I'm just sharing what I do when I go on a listing appointment, because I don't have a formal presentation. If I am able to and have time to, and it works out in my schedule, I will send, if I'm gonna have a listing appointment with someone, I will send my, like a listing presentation, just a nice presentation with all kinds of information about our company, the selling process, us, what we do, everything they would want to know. Very impressive. I send it in color, it looks good. I will send that to them in the mail when I book the appointment, so that hopefully it gets there you know, the day of or the day before, and then they can look through that. And a lot of times they look through it and they really like it and they're really impressed. They like our testimonials and everything, and they know we can get the job done, and that definitely helps the appointment go a lot easier. It's a lot easier to convert them in that case. So I send that presentation in the mail if I can. If I can't, I don't worry about it. Before I meet with them and ask them to review it before I get there. But other than that, I normally just show up to the appointment with my comps and just have a conversation with them. I just tell them what I'm gonna do to get it sold. And I think for the most part though, because you know, we are all realtors have access to pretty much the same things. And I talk about my company a lot, and I know that being at Berkshire Hathaway, we have a lot of resources that other small companies don't have as far as marketing goes, and they just have more money to put into marketing that other companies just don't have the resources to do. And I do think that's a bit of a selling point, but at the end of the day, if the home's priced right, and your agent's working hard for you, they're doing their job, they're professional, they know what they're doing, they know the process, they understand the process, they're able to educate you. And again, if it's priced right, because the price is super important, it's gonna sell, you know? As long as you've got good listing photos, you're presenting it in the right way, and you're doing everything as an agent. So I think it's a lot more, I'm finding more and more nowadays, a lot of sellers, if I even were to try to give them a presentation, they're like, okay, yeah, cut that. Like, they don't want to hear it. They've heard the same thing. They've heard all the agents say, we're going to put it on this MLS and this MLS, and we're going to put it on Zillow. Like, they've heard the spiel, and they just want someone who is going to stick to their word, and who's going to do what they say they're going to do, and who's going to return calls promptly, and you know, update them when there's showings, and be fighting for them and be working for them, not just take the listing and then disappear like unfortunately so many agents seem to do. So that being said, I think that the best way to win them over, instead of giving this lofty presentation about why, you know, all the things you're going to do to market it, at the end of the day, they are all pretty similar. And it's more important to connect with the seller, have established rapport with them, get them to like you by being interested in them, and just genuinely caring about them, and showing them that you have your crap together, and you know, you're on time, you're professional, you do what you say you're gonna do. I think all of that speaks a lot louder, and that I really believe is what what helps when my husband and I go on listing appointments, us win the listing, instead of having some big presentation showing them all the websites we're gonna put it on. I mean, that's all, yes, you have to do all of that, but that's not what's going to win it, because another agent can do that too. Yeah, it's really about just showing them who you are. Yeah, so that was the last question for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are a realtor and you live outside of the state of Oregon and you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. And if you're watching this video and you're not a real estate agent, I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you still grab some valuable nuggets out of this. If you or someone you know is thinking about making a move, no matter where on God's green earth you live, come and talk to me and I will set you up with a solid realtor in your area. Don't waste time and money just contacting the first agent that you find on Zillow or your friend's uncle that sells 4 houses a year. I know I always say this, but it's so true. Contact me and I'll set you up with an excellent agent in your area. And again, I'll see you next time.